Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna learn the swipe flip or whatever. I don't know name for all these moves because I come up with them. Maybe they exist, who knows, but I'm gonna give them a name for these tutorials. So this move is maybe a little bit tricky for you. That's why we have to sort of put all the different moves I use as a separate thing you practice. Then you can do them all. You can do these moves with way more, because these moves are cool and you can do a lot with all these separate moves. So the first one, probably you can do it already, but maybe not, who knows. This is what I call push-up throw over or push-up roll. What is it? Well, you start in this little CC position, and what you do is you move over to the push-up position, and when you look to the side, what you see what I do is before I throw over, I sort of transfer myself into the swipe position more or less, while keeping my legs straight. Now this leg actually moves over there, see that? Now what I do is similar to a swipe, I kick my hip up and push to my shoulder so I can easily throw over, see that? So that's the move. With momentum is way easier, so don't do it as slow as me, by the way. And I want you to practice this because it's separately a cool move to use. And maybe you can do this a couple of times in a row. This is also a really good exercise to do for air flares, by the way. So if you're struggling with air flares, add this exercise to your regime. Also same with swipe, sort of, because it's the same concept. So I'm going to do it twice in a row, but hey, do it this series times, guys. So push up, throw. Notice that my hip stays quite high while I do that, because that's way easier than going actually in a full push-up position. But shouldn't be too much of a problem for you. Practice this move as a separate thing that you can use, guys, because obviously also that one is very useful. Now we're going to do a slightly harder variation of the same move and keep our leg in the air. This is not that tricky if you're sort of down with these moves already, but what you do is stick your foot near your butt and then do the same thing. So your foot simply doesn't touch the floor while you do that rollover. Probably after the rollover, you try to do something else, your leg probably touches the floor. So after you sort of roll off, you want to kick your leg up. In this case, I'll just demonstrate where I glue my foot against my butt while I make the same move. So it's like this, right? So that's also not that hard to do, just saying, but to do it a little bit more cool and a little bit more easy to keep that leg in the air. While you throw over, you throw your leg up like that. It looks better, and it is also a little bit cooler, but mostly that makes sure this leg stays nicely in the air. So while you move under, you throw your leg up. That's all it is. Practice that as a separate thing too, so you can do that also a couple of times in a row. It looks something like this. Hopefully you can do that one and use that in your footwork and all your styles, whatever. So now we get to the flip. We're going to use that move we just did, and while we throw over, sort of here, what we're going to do is make a forward roll like this and land on our feet. But that's not a flip. So if you're very good at flips, what actually sort of happens is you land more or less here. So if you're super good at flips, you just flip from there, right? But if not, what I personally do is I place my elbow or my shoulder either and flip over that. When I feel like the power, I just try to do full flip. And that will make you flip over, which is a cool effect, which I quite like. And what I also like is because I did now a lot of tutorials about these crazy flips, but they sort of all come from standing, right? This one actually comes from your footwork, which is obviously very handy. So you already did these crazy flips, now you're busy with your footwork and boom, you can explode again, guys. So watch what I do with this hand when I do a full move, and it looks something like this. So I'm rolling over this foot, keeping this leg in the air, right? And then while I sort of land, I just start flipping over. You don't need this hand necessarily to catch yourself. Maybe in the beginning do it just to be safe, guys. So flip over the shoulder, land, right? So you land with this foot. Then it's really up to you what you want to do with it, right? The idea is always sort of the same. You need to, like, you have some crazy flip, but the ending after that flip you have to fill in, and it can't be the same ending every time. What I always love is these 1.5 swipes, and I love that because it makes the move extra explosive. But if I do that every round, the opponent will be like this. You're repeating, right? You do that move too much. So find a different solution there, find a different move. The better you are at flips, the more you can do with it, but maybe you just want to transpose into a power move. If you land like this on the foot, guess which move you can easily do? Boom, you can do swipes, right? And if you're good at comboing your swipe, you can use that same transition to just go from your swipe straight from that move into a 90, or whatever you can do with these combos, right? So there's so many options there, and you're not fixed on that rope either. Like I said, if you can do maybe something else, it's even better, right? So be creative, like take this information, take all these separate moves, and then get to work to make something with it. See you next time.